тэр цаг бол үнэхээр одоо лам нарасч байсан цаг юм. Мөн ялгаагүй одоо тэр цагт лам нар баривчлагдаж бүхий.
It was the time of the Lamas uprising, the time of the purges. At that time, all the Lamas were arrested, all the people there at the same time as me. People of lower and higher rank than me, all of them went. Some of them, well, they were shot. They disappeared. It is said they were taken some distance away to the north side of Elst. Then a large hole was dug. And then in groups of 100, they were put in and covered over. There were a great many, about 100 at Toson Sengel, and in the IMAG and IMAG Centre, maybe about 1,000. Last year, some people came from the capital and opened up the site. Because they were so deeply buried, they were remarkably well preserved. They still had their gowns on, with snuff bottles and texts tucked into them. They were maybe 3 or 4 meters deep at the bottom of the soil there. And they came out with their snuff bottles in their gowns and wearing their Buddhas. Then they were taken to Togmidin Bell, and a grave was dug there. And they were buried, some of them with special ceremonies. That's how it was.
он гарангууд хүмүүс өөрийнхөө гэрт нүүж хадгалж байсан шашны холбогдолтой урсгал зүйлүүд.
It was 1990 when the meetings started again. The ritual objects were all brought out of hiding. There was something interesting in every family. All the 108 volumes of the Ganjur were preserved. Jagel here kept them, and now they are in a museum. We have here a 21-volume sutra, known as the Yum Sutra. It is one of the most important books, and an ordinary person preserved this one as well, at home, and then brought it out. The most important Buddha here was taken home and placed in a trunk. People have taken excellent care of things. These bells and things, the things that hit them and to hold them with, all were taken by the people and hidden away. All these things, and even these scars and the dells, have now been brought out. The gown and the shishil and the ovodoi, worn now at Gandan, were all preserved and later brought out by ordinary people.
өнөөдөр ихэхэн өгшөрч миний эрүүл мэнд бас муудаж байна. Би 7 хүүхдийн эцэг.
Now I am very old and my health is poor. I'm the father of 7 children and I have 13 grandchildren and 23 great-grandchildren. My pension is £5 a month. I have a stomachache all the time, and I don't think I will live much longer. I began to study as a monk when I was 6. When I was 22, I had to become a soldier and drive trucks carrying ammunition to the front line when there was fighting against the Japanese. By this time, I was married. Later, I worked for the government as a gardener. Nearly all my monk classmates were killed during the purges. And after that, I was afraid to practice my religion because I could have been put in prison or even killed. Now I live here in Hovd with my family. Here's my shrine with my Buddha and holy books. Now I just say my prayers. I was very happy to see a picture of my classmate, Ishjant. He used to chant with me in the Yellow Temple. That was destroyed in the purges. But now we have built a small new temple near the site of the old one. But there are no lamas to use the temple. There are no teachers, and there is no money to look after the temple properly. I was the head lama there when we reopened the temple in 1992. But there were not other lamas who could perform the monastic rituals with me. We need a group of lamas. Also, I was young when I left the monastery all those years ago. So I was not well educated in the scriptures, and now my memory is failing. In the past, I did learn the scriptures and could read and write the ancient Mongolian script. I do not force others to adopt Buddhism, but if someone comes to me and is interested to study, I try to help them in their studies. I perform ceremonies for people when they ask me. I will go to their ger at the beginning of the milking season to ensure a rich yield. I will visit their house if they want me to do ceremonies for people who are dying. But now I am much too old to teach. It makes me too tired. I am worried about the decline of Buddhism in my country. I feel the government has no policy or finance to develop it. I am happy now to live a simple life within my family. All my needs for food and comfort are met by them. I am at the end of my life now.
Намайг 6 настай байхад миний өсгсөн аав ээж намайг хурцлж авсан. Би тэднийг шиг шашин шүтлэгтэй байсан.
I was 7 when my step-parents adopted me. I remember they were very religious. Every day I heard them saying their prayers. My real father was a big lama in the Red sect. As I grew up, I felt very drawn to the Dharma. In the communist times, I visited Ganden Monastery on the auspicious days. First, my school friends, and then my workmates joked with me because I always took time off on the 15th and the 8th, the moon days. All I wanted to do was practice the Dharma every day. I even wished they would put me in prison so I could practice all the time. I didn't know how to read Tibetan, but I translated a book into Mongolian. I had to hide it all the time. I became a teacher, a librarian, married, and had a daughter. In 1979, when His Holiness the Dalai Lama first came to Mongolia, I had an idea to open a prayer meeting for women. Gantamur and Badsoft were in the group. I begged my friends for a ger and some carpets. Some of the monks were not very helpful. They asked us why it was necessary for nuns to do prayers when the monks do all the prayers. I got angry and said I did not want to mix politics and religion. Now I have my own small nunnery, Dechit Chirlin Hij. I'm very happy. At last I'm able to practice. My dream is to have at least 4 learned nuns. I'm 53 years old and not educated in Buddhist studies. I worry that if there are no educated nuns, then the nunnery will fade away and end with me. There is so much to do in setting up the building and keeping my small group of nuns together that I have no time for prayers. Not many lay people come to pray in the temple. They don't really know about it, so we have to manage on our own. I'm trying to set up the right atmosphere in the nunnery. The young nuns are uneducated and do not live the teachings. It's too easy for them to be distracted by the novices. Many of them are only interested in getting married, having jewelry, talking about money, talking about boys. It's a big problem to get the nuns to develop respect for their teachers. I tell the young nuns who are going to India and Nepal, one of them is my daughter, that they're pioneers and that they have a big responsibility because they are the first to go from Mongolia.
We sat down on the bench with the old Lama Dembazel. Immediately, the head Lama started chanting occasionally, joined by the old man who also clashed the cymbals and beat the drum. The head Lama told us that he was praying for us to have a successful journey, a long life, a happy family, and that we would not fall off our horses. He lit incense in a silver chalice and at the same time dipped a leafy twig into an aromatic bottle, offering the liquid to the deities while scattering wheat across the bench in front of him. When this was completed, he took out from under his sash his prized book of prayers, which he carefully unwrapped. Flicking through the pages, he found the desired page and continued to chant. Lastly, he handed Dembezel a lighted incense chalice. He rose and passed the chalice 3 times around his body before handing it on to the next person. The service came to an end as abruptly as it had begun, and without realizing it, we had been under the spell of the unique and reverent atmosphere that only a temple can weave for over half an hour. The building's simplicity and sense of purpose took effect, and I realized that we had all been lost in a time past, and hopefully a time for the future.